Hello, this is Ignacy Trzewiczek and this is Portal Games vlog. Good morning. Guys, as always I have a lot of updates for you, news from Portal Games, as from the last week we continue the tradition. It has 2 episodes long. First short updates from the company, then answering your questions on the below on the YouTube, so board games answering your questions, and then board games that tell stories. That means I'm talking about Neuroshima Hex again. And for all of you who wonder what is this, here in Poland we are a very proud publisher of Mass Effect, and I believe this is a gun from Mass Effect cosplay that we did for the Polish market. We are not in need for that here. I just got a gift because I have a birthday today. Happy birthday to Ignacy. So I'm recording video and I'm going home. I'm not working today. But we have updates for you. Update for you is a race to Berlin, and I strongly believe that the phrase that is very popular in the few recent years, it became very popular in the few recent days, and the phrase is that let's not talk politics, it's just a gaming, it's a hobby, we play board games here and we want to don't listen about the real world and the politics, etc, etc. I strongly believe this phrase is stupid. But I know that many gamers and geeks prefer it that way. They want just to enjoy gaming, enjoying board gaming, and don't discuss politics. So for all of you, I have information. A race to Berlin most likely will not make it to Essen this year. Even though last week I said everything is intact and in the plan. Actually things happen in the last week, and the reason is I cannot talk politics. So we will not discuss why. Actually at the end of the episode I will have an appendix and I will explain why, but it involves politics, so many of you will not click it and learn it. But in sad news, we have huge problems with race to Berlin right now, even though last week it looked super positive. So the game is on the ship and it will be in America as planned, but we have a serious situation in Europe. This is one news, this is bad news. The good news is for Bohemians, because we got confirmation from Board Game Arena that they already scheduled the official release. No Bohemians, guys, sorry, it's Imperial Settlers. We have official confirmation from Board Game Arena for Imperial Settlers. It's releasing at Board Game Arena as an official launch on October 20th. So in 1 month you will be able to play officially Imperial Settlers. As I said in the previous vlogs, I played it already many times. It looks very awesome, it plays very smooth, so I'm going to play many times and you are going to play many times. And as for Bohemians, it is in a playtesting for Board Game Arena. You can already playtest it as well and have fun and play it. And for the Bohemians, once again, I strongly recommend to check out our social media and our website, because Jasper is on fire again. From the previous week to this week, he already visited, I believe, 2 or 3 places presenting Bohemians, and he keeps doing that. Also, today we announced Bohemians will be released in Spanish, in Spain, and after Polish edition, after German edition, after English edition, after Italian edition, after Spanish edition. There's lots of editions of this game. Publishers love the game. We presented it at Nuremberg Fair and they loved it, and then we followed up with the prototypes and they played it and we loved it. So many editions coming, and the Euro edition, as English edition, around this Essen. We have 1 month to release Bohemian, so it looks very awesome. And that's it for the update. So good news for Imperial Settlers, good news for the Bohemians, and terrible news for the race to Berlin. Now let's go to the FAQ. As always, I super strongly appreciate your comments below the YouTube. 1, because I love to read them. 2nd, because it helps YouTube discover this channel is interesting and people want to interact with the vloggers. So I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate every single like, etc. What you just said here in these comments, jumping on Neuroshima Hex this year sounds awesome. Maybe to help new players you could later release a big box with all the armies. So for many years. The game was released 20 years ago. For many years, fans here in Poland and in America asked us to release a big box, and every single year I say no, it will not happen. And every single time I explain why. Why? Because we continue to release new armies. We continue to support the game, and this is the plan for the upcoming years. We already signed an army for the next year, so the line will grow. So this big box will never be true. It will never be a complete box, because next year will be another army, and then next another army. So that's why we are releasing a base game with 4 armies, or the base game with 2 armies, these 2 new starter set, and then new armies, and then no plans. And I promise you, there is no plans for the big box, because it will always be missing another army from another year. Thomas, our friend of the company, friend of the vlog, friend of our family, Portal Games is winning, even if all words do not reflect the truth. You are a fan-friendly publisher that releases incredible games that tell stories. Thank you, I appreciate that. And as always said, the whole concept for Portal Games this 25 years ago was that I was just a regular nerd, a regular geek who just had a dream to create a game company, and I stay after these 25 years. I still am geek and nerd. I still play games, I still visit conventions on a private basis as well as an official basis. I play games every week, and I try to run the company as it is fan driven. I think I'm succeeding in this for these 25 years. Hans Lamal says, I like to play Neuroshima Hex on Android. Me too, high five. But yes, it would be very nice on Board Game Arena too. Still waiting for more armies on Android. So first of all, Neuroshima Hex, you can buy this new starter that I don't have with me right now, but we have a new starter on the market. Then you can play it on Steam, on a PC, you can play it on Android, you can play it on iOS, so there's lots of different options for you. And Board Game Arena is, we are considering it after we will evaluate these 4 games that we are releasing this year. As for new armies for Android, it's very expensive to code and prepare new army for the Android devices, and as for now we are not working on the new army because of the budget. Budget is very difficult on these devices. Ben says, huge fan of Neuroshima Hex. Absolutely, thank you. When will the Wireman be released in the US? Thanks. We had with production team discussion this week. I discussed with Damian about the transport, and similarly to the base game, the new edition of the Neuroshima Hex, we will have first released in Essen in October, and then the ship will arrive to America around November-ish. But it's too late to release the product because Black Friday, Christmas, etc. So we postponed the Wireman and the new edition of Neuroshima Hex for the early 2026 for America. For Europe, it will be released this Essen. Speaking about Neuroshima Hex, last weekend we had Kordian, a championship of Neuroshima Hex from Poland. We sent him to America, to Las Vegas, for the event, for the Neuroshima Hex tournament. I'm still waiting for the full report, so most likely I will report on this on the next vlog. But the short notice is, one of American players kicked his ass, and Kordian did not win championship in America. So congratulations to whoever it was who beat Polish champion. Kordian comes to Poland defeated, but I need to meet him. I need to talk with him when he flies back, and I will discuss with him what happened, and then of course I will report to you. So a fun time in Vegas as well. Anyway, well, again, thank you for your questions. I'm super happy to answer them and have these open communications. And now let's go to the board games that tell stories section of the vlog. Last week I told you how Neuroshima Hex won a game of the year, and then 6 hours later it turned out it hasn't. And we won the game, the award, but then we lost the award. You can learn the story in the previous episode, but there is more on this story. So we got, after we won the award, we got the logo of the award, so we can put it on the box. We put it on the box, and for all of you who own the very first edition from Essen, this is like I don't know, 700, 1000 people on this very planet. This is the box that we went for Essen. This is the box best Polish designer game 2007, and we have here a logo. We put the logo here, so we were very proud that we won the award for the Polish best design. I discussed it last week. And then when we published it, when we produced the boxes, when it showed in the internet that it's released, fans started asking why this logo, and then the jury of the award contacted us that they sent us the wrong logo. And now this one when you do a facepalm, as I did back then with my colors. So they gave us an award, and they took it back, and then they sent us a logo for the award, and they said they sent us a wrong logo. So there was of course a lot of controversy, lots of hate on me, obviously, because it was my fault. There was lots of people blaming me that I tried to cheat and I tried to put the logo that I won the main award of the Game of the Year in Poland on this box, and it was me trying to cheat the people in Essen. We got a lot of disrespect back then on the whole Game of the Year concept. They sent us the right logo after this whole scandal. So if you have this edition that was released the year after that Essen, and as well as the Z-Man Games edition, you will see these logos are a little bit different. That's why. Since then, I'm not a big fan of the Game of the Year in Poland, to say it very delicately. So this is the thing, but this story continues, because when we did the new edition of the Neuroshima Hex, I decided to troll Game of the Year because I had my feelings about them. So the next edition of the game, we used the logo that we got, and then we added our own layout with information that is the best game designer. So we have, over the history of the whole editions, we have 3 different logos. Enjoy, have fun, this is craziness. They started with everything back then when they gave us award, then took the award away when they sent us the logo, and then they said that they sent us wrong logo. Things happening. Guys, board game stories, every week I try to bring you some of the most crazy stories from the past, and because the company has 25 years of the history, there's a lot of stories to discover and unpack and tell you. So watch this another episode, and next Wednesday. Thank you for being with me, and that's it with this small appendix that we will discuss politics, okay? But it's not for everyone. If you don't like politics in your gaming, you just see you next week. And now let's discuss why actually a Race to Berlin will maybe not make it for Essen this year. So, as you probably know, we have a war in Europe, Russia invading Ukraine, and 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, something like that, Russia did military training. They sent lots of tanks and jets and all this stuff to Belarus, to the country that is at the border with Poland, to make a training, to make some maneuvering, to do some simulations of what may happen. And because we all feel pressure here in Poland, probably you heard in the news that Russia invaded our airspace with 19 drones that invaded the Polish airspace. You probably heard about 3 jets that invaded airspace of Estonia. So basically this thing is happening. This is this. We are under pressure with Russia being more and more suggesting that they will be coming with actual attack on Baltic countries and on Poland. Poland closed the border with Belarus last week, so nothing can go through. So the border is closed. And now, as you can assume, through this border we had a train that should come with Race to Berlin copies. As probably you know, because I said it many times in different interviews, information from China to Europe, there is a direct connection on train. So from China you can bring to Europe things through ship, as always, but a couple of years ago there was a connection built with the train, and from China to Europe you go by train as well. And this train station that connects Europe with China is in Poland, which was very cool. So for many years, when we were printing games for a Polish market or for a European market, we were not using ships, but we were using train, which is a faster, cheaper and more convenient way. So our Essen releases are on the train. and race to Berlin is one of them. But the train cannot cross border because the border is closed due to the Mr. fucking Vladimir Putin. So that is why politics actually matters for board gaming. This is how politics actually matters for your daily gaming. And when you vote for the presidents, when you vote for the governments, when you make some vocal choices about the politics, it matters. If we have in America the president that puts sanctions on Russia, if he is more, I would say, courageous, discussing with Vladimir Putin, maybe Vladimir Putin would be not so happy to invade Poland, so happy to invade Estonia, so happy to send the drones to Poland, and maybe we would not need to close the borders with Belarus. So on this sad note, yes, politics matters for all of you gamers. Prices of games increased due to politics. Race to Berlin may not happen at Essen due to the politics. So please, please, please understand, politics matters in daily life, whether you are a gamer or not. Thank you for watching. Sorry for this Slavic end of the show, but this is what we are dealing with. Like, we are dealing with tariffs because of somebody voted for Mr. Trump. We are dealing with closed borders because somebody voted for Mr. Trump. We are not very happy with all these troubles, but my team is doing their best, and they are, believe me or not, they are now scheduling different routes. So they try now to take this container from the train in Belarus and put it on the ship again. This is like a madness what we're trying to do. So I'm not saying that we will not have race to Berlin in Essen. My team is working very, very hard to make it, but at this point the border is closed. Talk to you next week with another updates and crazy stories from a live of the board game publisher from Poland. I love you. Give us some comments, give us some questions, give us some likes, and once again, if you have this about 10 to 15 free seconds in your day, I would appreciate if you go to Board Game Geek, find a geek list with all the Essen releases, and thumbs up Portal Games titles, because we need some love from all of you. Thank you for today. Talk to you next week.